Now onto the other part of this video is that promiscuity can actually also lead to STIs and STDs, and if you've taken a health class in the school, you will have heard this. They tell you use protection. They don't actually encourage you to just not have sex. They don't really say abstinence is the best way to go about this. It's usually whatever they teach you is an encouragement to do it. But public school is wrong. Contraceptives are intrinsically evil because not only do they frustrate the passions, but they distort why sex exists. It is for the bonding of a married couple and for the procreation of children. It's a unitive act for a married couple, and it's for begetting life. And people are distorting that and turning it into this disgusting thing it was never intended to be. They're misusing it, basically. They're misusing sex and the reason it exists. I also want to add people who are promiscuous, and if you have sex outside of marriage, even if you have a boyfriend and you have a boyfriend for a year or 2 years or whatever, and you guys are having sex, you are essentially his prostitute. You're not in a morally upright position. I mean, it's not like you're better than this person because you had sex with your boyfriend 300 times and they had sex with 300 separate persons. So you're not in a morally good position to say that, I'm a better person because I sleep with my boyfriend. You're still a whore, and so is that woman. Both of you are whores. Two things can be true at the same time. I'm just saying, I think people want to glamorize sin, and the Bible calls it being a harlot. It's not right to usurp marriage. The purpose of sex, as I said before, is it's intended to bond spouses in the permanency of marriage. Outside of marriage, it usurps this and it creates a bond, which is also called soul ties. You become attached to this person even if you break up. There's a part of you that goes with them. And this constant rejection, you're sleeping with somebody and you're rejecting them, or you're having sex with people that you never intend to get married to, or maybe you do, or you just sleep with someone. It distorts attachments. You should be permanently bonded and attached to your husband or to your wife if you're a man, if you're a woman, because again, marriage is between one man and one woman. But when you have sex outside of that, you're inviting problems into your life. You're inviting these demons into your life. And they're not even metaphorical demons. They're literal demons that will tempt you, like I said before. I mean, when you have songs that sing about demons, demons are real and they actually do afflict you and you can shake them off, but it will take time and work. There's a way to avoid this, but a lot of women, a lot of people in general will develop mental health issues like depression and anxiety, and it stems from the choices that they make. This can all be healed over time, but you have to stop that behavior. If you want to be happy, you have to stop the behaviors that are causing you this misery, and you have to actually recognize it. You can live without sex. And when you have sex and say you get pregnant, now there are people who will have children specifically not married so that they can go on welfare. Not only are they a burden to society now, they are affecting their children's lives. They are giving their children a bad example, and they're probably not even going to be that nice to their children, because when you have children specifically for a purpose like getting money, you're not going to be that nice to your children. And I've seen this firsthand. So it's very selfish to have children. You have no intention of raising them properly. It's also very selfish to get an abortion. When you end the life of your child because you made bad choices, and there are choices, there are situations where women do get pregnant out of being essayed, and I am actually a product of that. I am a product of an assault. I do not regret my beginnings. I'm very happy to be alive, and I'm grateful that at the very least that I was able to live. A lot of children are not so fortunate because you have so many people that are so selfish. They can't fathom making good choices so that your choices don't affect other people, because our choices do. When you have bad or good choices, you're not the only one that is going to be affected by it. They interact with you, so the effect of your choices rubs off on other people because it affects how you interact with them. If you want to avoid this, you have to discern people properly when you date them, or don't even date them. Do a low pressure situation where you begin to get to know them to open the door for potential dating. And then when you date, you should be dating with marriage in mind. Is this person going to make a good spouse? And you can say, well, not everybody wants children. It doesn't matter what you want. If you want to get married, you need to be open to life, or you're going to be incredibly miserable. And there could be people who say, well, I'm so happy I don't have kids. You're probably not that happy. There are a lot of people who choose not to have children and are actually not that happy. And you can tell because they're usually either angrier or their lives seem more shallow. And a lot of people will do things that will kind of mask their misery. Like drinking, socializing a lot, having parties, living a very shallow life, and not really giving much time for them to realize, I'm not doing this right. And I want to add that you'll also be bringing unnecessary baggage to an actual marriage. You have this comparison that you'll now have with your husband or your wife. You'll be comparing them to other partners, and at some point you will be tempted to wonder what life would be like had you chosen them, or had you had that relationship worked out. And that is not good. You have to resist those thoughts if they ever happen, because a lot of people have dated, not just dated, but like slept around, and that comparison comes in, because when you sleep with somebody, you think you love them, because it's like a bonding thing. Remember, it affects oxytocin and dopamine. So you have to be more careful, because you're actually setting yourself up for long-term problems. And you don't want to be comparing your spouse, because your spouse, when you get married and you're in a valid marriage, your husband or your wife, you become one flesh. That is a very big responsibility. You have a responsibility to make it work. What God has joined together, let no man put asunder. No person, no court can actually separate you. Nobody can say, oh, okay, you're not married anymore. It's not how it works. God joined it. The state can't usurp God. They can try, but that bond will still exist. Having these prior relationships where you've also slept around and stuff, it can weaken your marriage, and it sets you up for failure, basically. It's a lot harder to work through it. Like, you can make it work if you are striving for virtue, if you're striving for a good and holy life. This can be overcome. But so many people fail because, one, they don't enter marriage properly for the right reasons. They don't date for the right reasons. They don't enter relationships for the right reasons. A lot of hurt people are just are just going around hurting other people. You really complicate your life when you have sex before marriage, because now, if you do get pregnant, for example, not only it's actually been found scientifically that the DNA of your children can still be found in you. It's true for if you're dating, if you're with a guy, you sleep with him, that I think the DNA lasts for a little while. You still have that bond. There's still like a spiritual bond, because marriage is a spiritual thing. It's not just like a physical thing where you live with somebody. It's like when you two become one flesh, your souls are tied together. And when you have sex, you usurp that and you disorder this bonding that you're supposed to have. It can tempt you to break your marriage vows. I mean, if you make God a promise, you should be fulfilling it. A divorce and remarriage is adultery, and Jesus says so. And a lot of people who are, even there's Catholics who do this, people who claim to be Catholic anyway, who get divorced and remarried and try to go to church and still receive the sacraments, and they're not supposed to be doing that when they haven't validated their situation. There's been no annulment. So you guys are complicating your lives, and you're sabotaging yourself.